My name is Gregory Noisewater.
Hi, my name is Shauna Thompson-Bouvier.
This short video is based on the book Responsive Environments by Ian Bentley, Alan Alcock, Paul Moraine, Sue McGlynn, and Graham Smith.
Urban design and modern architecture are often described as being undemocratic, repressive, and inhumane.
During this video, we will explore the 7 design elements outlined in the book that take a more humanistic approach to urban design. Those elements are permeability, legibility, variety, richness, robustness, visual appropriateness, and personalization.
We hope you'll join us for the next 15 minutes as we walk through the city of Calgary and discuss what makes a responsive environment. Are you ready to get started? Let's go! Permeability is the extent to which an environment allows users a choice of access through it from place to place. Both physical and visual permeability are important, so not only is the number of routes important, but they must also be visible. So now let's talk about some of the problems facing permeability. Design trends such as large-scale developments, hierarchical layouts, and pedestrian vehicle segregation counteract permeability by effectively reducing the number of routes available to users and creating systems of dead ends and cul-de-sacs. One of the simplest methods of addressing these problems is the idea of the small-scale perimeter block. These blocks have fronts facing outwards to the street and backs facing towards private areas. Small blocks often provide an increase in choice and awareness to users by providing a viewshed from one junction to another.
Variety is the level of experiential choice a place offers. Environments with variety have a diverse set of building forms and attract a range of people who engage in a diverse set of activities. If different choices and activities are spread over a wide area, variety is restricted to those people who can afford high mobility. Real choice, therefore, accessible to the majority of the people, depend on a close grain of variety. Often developers and planners are concerned with creating efficient neighborhoods. This means that their needs are met by specialization and economies of scale, which coarsen the grain of variety.
Looking at this particular street and moving from a larger, newer development to older, more compact buildings that offer character and affordability, we see a transformation from less variety to more variety.
Variety, however, cannot be achieved just by dumping a mixed bag of activities onto a site.
Noisewater!
What? The uses of a place must mutually support one another. Having a layout that includes primary uses, such as department stores and grocery stores, that help support secondary uses, such as specialty shops and boutiques, help promote variety.
Now that we've discussed the first 2 elements, let's look at legibility, which is the capacity of users to grasp a place while making use of variety and permeability. In today's modern cities, large office developments visually overwhelm places that were once considered important and confuse activity patterns. People are left wandering through an endless maze of streets and buildings that look identical. Kevin Lynch had it right when he broke down people's shared images of places into 5 key physical elements: paths, nodes, landmarks, edges, and districts. Paths are channels of movement such as streets, alleyways, roadways, and railways. Nodes are the focal points and junctions of paths. Districts are the medium to large sections of a city that have a particular identifying character. Landmarks act as a reference point for users, are located at junctions, and are visible from a distance. Edges are the linear elements, such as buildings, rivers, railways, and motorways, that act as barriers or invisible thresholds to a variety of places. Together, these 5 elements should be used by designers to create places that are easily grasped by users.
A place that can be used for many different reasons has the quality of robustness. Because patrons are usually only concerned with specific aspects of a user's life, designers have a tendency to specialize places to meet the patron's needs rather than the user's. So how do we combat the challenges to robustness? In public space, it's often the activities themselves that offer support for other activities, meaning that people are drawn to a place to experience other people. The activities in the surrounding buildings strongly influence the activities in the public space. So the edges of that public space should have as many entrances as possible, with many access points that promote visibility and permeability. The activities within the building should also spill onto the street whenever possible. Buildings should be shallow in plan, allowing for the most natural light and ventilation, have a limited height, and many access points to the outdoors. Robustness also means that the uses of a space not inhibit one another. This is particularly important in terms of vehicular and pedestrian use.
If the meaning that users interpret from a place allows them to adopt an exploratory attitude towards it, that place is considered to be visually appropriate. Different users have different interpretations of a place. These interpretations are based off of their environmental experiences and also their objectives towards the place. So the question becomes, how can a place be designed to look like several things at once? The visual cues provided by a place must support legibility, variety, and robustness. Contextual cues support legibility and are interpreted as relating a building to its context by either reinforcing or standing out from the paths, nodes, and landmarks of a place. Use cues support variety and robustness and can be interpreted as appropriate to the various uses that a place supports. The building behind me displays a great deal of robustness in that it looks like a library, a school, and also a community hall. This building fits in well with the historical context of the neighborhood. It has a variety of uses, both indoors and outdoors.
A place that offers a variety of sense experiences has richness. With this in mind, we as designers must design for all the senses. Senses can be divided into selective and unselective. Unselective senses, such as smell and motion, offer us a variety of experience through changing our position. By moving from one source to another, we can alter our experience. On the other hand, the sense of sight is selective, in that we have a choice on what source our attention is focused without moving. Richness is often a problem because of the monotony of many recent environments. So how do we improve richness? Richness depends on the presence of contrasts that a place offers. These contrasts are important because of their relationship to one another and the number involved. The scales at which richness is manifested must also be considered, and a hierarchy of elements is required to satisfy both long-range and short-range richness. Here on this street, we see a rich texture of surfaces, sounds and smells, visual elements such as windows and doors, and mobility to these elements is easy. Richness.
Personalization is the ability for a user to bear their own stamp on the places they live and work. Personalization can become a political issue when planning debate tackles the issue of control versus individual choice. There are various communities that impose strict regulations telling people how they should personalize their spaces. Tenure, building type, and technology all affect personalization. Buildings should be designed to allow for a range of tenure and encourage personalization through the use of easy-to-use materials and technologies. People personalize buildings for two reasons. The first, affirmative personalization, is where people share with us their tastes and values. The second, remedial personalization, is where people find buildings inappropriate. In private areas, people personalize interiors by decorating surfaces and displays. Personalization is never random. It is relatively easy to predict where personalization will occur in outdoor spaces and interiors.
So those are the 7 elements that make up a responsive environment. Let's review.
Small blocks increase choice and awareness through physical and visual permeability.
Variety. Consider the type and location of activities and uses within the site.
Make use of paths, nodes, districts, landmarks, and edges to create a legible environment.
Choice is what makes or breaks a space. Robust environments focus on the user's interests rather than the patron's.
Bring meaning into the site by incorporating visual cues that enhance the character of the space.
Create rich experiences for users by designing spaces that address all of the senses.
Finally, allow users to personalize their indoor and outdoor environments.
Well, that concludes our video. We hope you've enjoyed discussing the 7 elements of a responsive environment with us.
Thanks for joining us, and see you soon.
Peace!